Our News on Terror segment tonight, ISIS is now claiming responsibility for the truck attack in Berlin, Germany that killed 12 people and injured at least 48 others. That claim came at the same time Berlin authorities released the man they originally arrested, a Pakistani refugee. They say the man is not the one responsible for the attack. They're currently searching for a Tunisian asylum seeker they believe to be the perpetrator. Take a look.
The Berlin Christmas market that was the target of a deadly attack Monday reopened for business Wednesday morning, even as scattered debris and shattered market stalls remain at the site next to the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church. Germany's interior minister has confirmed that authorities are seeking a new suspect. A manhunt has begun in Germany and in the European Union's border-free Schengen area.
I told the Home Affairs Committee and will repeat it here. For us, it is important to find this suspect.
Another official says the new suspect is thought to be a Tunisian with ties to Islamic extremists. The man's wallet was found in the cab of the truck. He was meant to be deported from Germany earlier this year.
Joining me now, Director of the Threat Information Office at the Center for Security Policy, Kyle Shideler. Kyle, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Liz. It's always a pleasure.
All right, Kyle, new developments in this story. ISIS has claimed responsibility for this attack. The Berlin authorities released the Pakistani man they originally suspected. The new suspect, a Tunisian man, is at large. He's supposedly armed and dangerous, as makes sense given what he did. The Tunisian man they're searching for, he's been arrested before in Germany and in other European countries. In Italy, he served prison time. Germany arrested him earlier this year because of forged papers, but let him go. Kyle, it is mind-boggling to me the fact that they can't find him now.
Well, it's frustrating, Liz, but this clearly has all of the hallmarks of the sort of jihadist attacks that we've seen go on in Europe. You have the immigration problems. You have the failed surveillance that law enforcement and intelligence had this guy under surveillance and then lost him. You have the inability to deport him. You have the ties to local Salafi jihadi groups that were well known to law enforcement. So this is really kind of a textbook example of the problem that Europe currently faces.
All right, and let me ask you about this. ISIS, of course, claimed responsibility for this yesterday. Do you find this to be a credible claim here? I mean, it was a successful terror attack. Of course, ISIS is going to want to associate their name with it. Our State Department spokesman, John Kirby, said the U.S. has no evidence that there was any direct ties to terror organizations here. Kyle, what do you know?
I think it makes sense. We know that Islamic State has called for attacks exactly like this, and previous attacks have taken place, for example, in France, that followed this model. We know that the Tunisian suspect that they're currently looking for was linked to an Iraqi extremist cleric that is known to have recruited for Islamic State before, and we know, of course, that Tunisia is home to many pro-Islamist terror groups and pro-Islamic State groups as well. So it makes sense to me, and Islamic State, of course, obviously happy to claim this attack because it was so successful.
Right. I mean, that's part of the purpose of terror attacks. Besides waging the destruction, it's also gaining that attention, instilling that terror in people. So if they can associate their name with it, I would think they would. But I think the rhetoric that they use here, Kyle, and I want you to speak more on this if you could, the rhetoric that they used when they claimed this attack is very important. They called the suspect a soldier of the Islamic State. In my understanding, when they use that term, soldier of Allah or soldier of the Islamic State, that generally refers not to a full-time operative, not to a member who's been in the Middle East with them before, but it generally refers to Western sympathizers or these so-called self-radicalized terrorists.
Well, I think in this case it probably indicates that Islamic State was responding to news reports of the incident rather than some kind of inside knowledge. I think in all likelihood they were looking at the same evidence that you and I were looking at and said, this sounds like one of our guys, I bet it's us. And we don't know that for sure, and the authorities will want to check as they continue to investigate when they find this guy, what sort of ties he did have to other groups. Was he directly in contact with Islamic State's external operations group in Syria and Iraq, or did he come up with this plot on his own on the basis of Islamic State or al-Qaeda propaganda? That's a question we're going to want to answer, but for the propagandists of the Islamic State, it's really almost besides the point.
Right, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's irrelevant to them. The end goal, the result of it was the same, so to them it doesn't matter. But what do you expect? Do you expect this to be some sort of terror cell like we saw in Paris? I mean, there were reports, you mentioned this even earlier, that that this guy, this suspect, this killer, this terrorist had ties to radical Islamists, perhaps even to a network of radical Islamists within Germany who recruit jihadists to go and fight in Syria.
I think that's probably the case. Obviously, it's risky to prognosticate, but I think we'll see as we move forward that he did have his own personal network of cooperative people that he could work with, people that would hide him, people that could help him acquire items. We know, for example, that he tried to engage in a criminal scheme to conduct a robbery in order to get money, possibly to hire, to purchase weapons, which was one of the things that originally put him on the German intelligence radar. So he was clearly in and around the jihadist and criminal scene in Europe. So I think we'll find that he has some kind of personal network which may have ties overseas.
Right, and I guess the part of that concerns me, besides there just being a criminal network of terrorists within Germany or within Europe, are we ever going to find him then? If he has this network, isn't he just going to have a pre-planned escape route like the guys did in Paris, where he gets away and we never hear from him again?
That remains to be seen. Obviously, the Germans are going to move heaven and earth if they can to try to catch him before he leaves the country. We know, obviously, that he's been able to acquire fraudulent passports and other documents in the past.
8 of them,
so
reportedly.
He may have an escape route planned.
Right,
That's right. So he may have an escape route planned, or he may be looking for somebody that can help him get out. Or, and this is certainly worrisome to the Germans, he may be looking to conduct another attack.
Right, especially if he thinks that they're on his trail and that he has no point of escape. He may want to continue that. That's a good point, and it's a scary point. Kyle, I appreciate your analysis on these issues. Thank you so much for being here today. All right, guys, our next tipping point with Kevin O'Brien. I don't think permanent means what Obama thinks it means, at least not when it comes to offshore drilling bans. Stick with us. That one's straight ahead.